Hi everyone, welcome to Stamping Claire. My name is Rochelle. Great to have you here for my weekly live. I'm based in Melbourne in Australia, and today I'm sharing with you some retiring products, and it's our last week with the last chance sale. So I thought, instead of sharing new stuff, I thought I'll share with you some of my favorite products, or one of my favorite products from that are retiring, and it's still available. And with Anzac Day yesterday, I thought it'd be nice to share something with the poppies. So thanks for joining me. If it's your first time, I'm glad you are here, and thanks to my repeats, my regulars. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And that really helps me and it encourages me. So if you follow along with me, either on my newsletter or on my Facebook page, each week I share a color palette. So I'm going to share with you the card I created using last week's color palette, but I'll be using a different palette today, and I'll show you what I made using the other color palette later on. So the stamp set, or it's the dies that I'll be using, because the stamp set that accompanied this is no longer. But what I like about these dies, it's called the Poppy Moments dies. You can use them independently of the stamp set. So and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So you can create the flowers and the leaves. You don't need the stamp set. So that's the good thing with these dies. And this one's going to stay in my stash because I think it's a really handy set to have. So I will switch the camera around, and just give me a second. I'm just going to get my top plate for my die cutting machine too, which I left on the other desk. So just bear with me, and I'll put that there. So that's the stamp set that's still available. So there were two die sets and two stamp sets. So the other die set is there as well. So that's got more labels and some of the poppies and things like that. But that's there as well. So this has been well used. The sentiments are great. Nice font as well. So good range. So what I'm doing today is we're casing the catalogue, the mini catalogue. And I do this a lot. It's it makes it really easy for inspiration when you copy a color scheme or a layout. So on page 38 of our mini catalogue, which is retiring as well, so we've got the annual catalogue and the mini catalogue that are retiring. This particular card, which is right on that spine there, is retiring. It's not retiring. This is the card I'm casing. So it's the layout I'm casing. Now with casing, you can go with colors or whatever, or technique. That could be like an emboss resist technique at the back. So we're going to be casing that. I'm just making sure I've got my other. I had a second plate, making sure I've got all my plates here. Because I've got two machines and I'm hopping around from one to the other. But the other plate I was using was a bit old, and it was leaving marks on my work, and I wasn't using it. So what we're going to do, I'm using basic white cardstock, and we're going to die cut the poppy. So this is the inner image, and this will give you an outline image. from that. And I'm also going to die cut 3 leaves, which is so this is how this works. So that's the inner and that's the outer. And same, I don't need this, but I'm just showing you. That's the inner, and that'll be like your outline. And I will also need these dies. So I'll get them out ready. If you've got lots of bits and pieces, you can see how those larger ones die cut, which I'm not going to be doing today. But that's what we'll do with the others. So I've just got a piece of basic white. I'll get another piece actually. That's for my leaves, but I might get a bigger piece. So I'm gonna die cut those, and I might as well die cut the leaf. I'm gonna die cut this with some colored cardstock. So the last chance sale ends on the 1st of May. So that's next Monday. The new catalog comes into play on the 2nd of May, which is next Tuesday. So from the 2nd of May, you can start ordering from the new catalog. If you are after a catalog and you haven't got yours, just let me know if you want one. Yours could be on the way, or if you would like me to add one for you, I will send that through in the mail for you. I actually got my order the other day, a couple of days ago, and I haven't even had a chance to open the box. The box is sitting at my door with all the colors, the new colors. I've been hectic. I've got a market on this Sunday, and I've just been prepping for that. So we've got, there's a little bit of a mark which has come through from the top plate, but that'll get covered. So all these pop out. So nice large flower, and I really like that. So that layers on top of that. And that's the first of our leaves. I will cut 2 more. You only need to run it through once, but I'm just going over it just to bring it back to me. The Take Your Pick tool is really handy when you have, this is not so hard, but the outline image of the leaf is a little bit more thin, which you'll see. So for my color scheme today, I've got for my leaves, Parakeet Party and Shaded Spruce. I thought I'll go with that. So let's bring a bit of Parakeet Party and we'll cut those outlines. So once you've got all your die cutting, it's not, it's quick in there. It's quite sweet. And you don't need to use it with the bottom layer. You could use it by itself, the top layer. Hi, Fiona. Great to see you. Good to see all of you. I've had a bit of a semi-long weekend in between the week. Or semi-weekend, I should say, because yesterday was off and I've had today off. So it's kind of good. It's a good ease back into the work after holidays. Went back for one day and then we have 2 days off. I had 2 days off. I'm trying to get all the die cutting done. And hopefully, as much as I can anyway. It'll come together as we do it, but I did have to first die cut the flower, otherwise it couldn't go anywhere without it. Now for the center of the flower, I am going with a Night of Navy. Oh, maybe, yes. Maybe. We'll see. Because I did my original card in another palette, color palette. I'm just got to see how this turns out. I like to change it up and see what happens. All right, for now, I will need that again, but just for now. You worked yesterday, Fiona. That's a bit ordinary. All right, get rid of my dies. All right, so what I'm going to do is bring in the inner image. And I've got polished pink. Now, this is one of the retiring ink colors. I did check like at 7 o'clock this evening. It is still there. There's an ink pad there. I don't know about anything else in polished pink, but the ink pad is still there. So if you like it, grab it tonight. And what I'm showing you is what you can do with basic white cardstock. If you don't have, like if you've got inks and things, ink pads, you can change that color to anything really. So I'm going with just blending that polished pink in. So you can die cut this out of polished pink cardstock or whatever color you want. I do this so I don't get a really strong color. I may change that inner layer, but we'll see. You know how I cut it in Night of Navy? But that was just... I want something to blend this. Might go Flirty Flamingo. Give it a bit less lighter color in the center. And just blend it nicely. Now let's bring in that outline piece. I'll go with the Flirty Flamingo. And Just blending the color. I think you have more control when you do ink blending rather than doing cutting it straight out of the colored cardstock. It gives a nicer finish. But if you're short on time and things, you can cut it straight out of cardstock. So you see, by cutting it out or blending it, it gives you like a different look. Even though it's similar, like same colors, it's you can see the variation. And I might add a bit more polish pink around the edge. I will probably do a color comparison next week with all the new, with the new colors, because sometimes it is hard to tell by themselves what a color looks like until you really compare them to something else that you already know. But even in a catalog, sometimes it's hard. All right, so we've got that ready to go. Now let's bring in our leaves. So I'm just getting in Parakeet Party. So this is not a color I use often, purely because it's probably, I feel like it's a little bit bright for me, and that's why I tend not to use it in its full strength. And blended, it works better for me. And that's just my what I like. And that's the good thing with colors. It's purely preference, isn't it? And everyone has different colors they like. So now I quite like it, the depth there, and then I'll just lighten it up here. And even so, it's the same cardstock, but just doing that makes it a little bit different. So I'm blending in Parakeet Party at the bottom, just adding it a bit darker, and flick that over. Start off the piece that you are working on so that it doesn't come really dark, and then I'm just going a very light color there and load up, and then start at the bottom. The more you work with your blending brush, it'll it blends the colors more. So if you have any harsh lines and things, just keep working it. But starting off the piece or off the page works, gives you a better blend. Shaded Spruce, it's another day. It's another color I don't give much love to. It's not that I don't like these colors. It's just sometimes, you know, you gravitate to the colors, your go-to colors. So I'm bringing that in a little bit up on the side. Do you have colors that you gravitate to? Like, because you don't need to think, you know, okay, yeah, that's going to work. I know that's working. And same with that. And I'll do the same a little bit on the outline piece. And all this just gives you a bit more definition. Just be a bit careful because that little piece in the center, it's very thin. I'm just going very lightly. So it takes that starkness out of it. Right. So we're going to put these things together once we just blend it all in. Gives it life when you blend instead of you know, it's just straight cut. You can cut it out of colored custard, but just adding a little bit of color gives it a little more life, natural look. So I'm using just liquid glue. We have a fine tip glue if you like. Or you can even use the adhesive sheet. So what you do is stick the cardstock before you die cut it onto an adhesive sheet and then die cut it. It is handy, but for me, I find this works fine for me. So start at the top. If you feel like you have put a little bit of too much glue, just let the piece rest on the side for a bit till it's tacky and then put it on. And just teeny mini bit. I'm starting from the top or bottom, whatever works, but just lay it down a little at a time, then it's easier. You can use the tweezers from the embossing kit, the embossing additions toolkit. That would help. I don't know what that bit is, but we can hide it. Just going to use the excess glue there. So I really didn't squeeze out any excess. I just added the glue that was on that side of my scrap. They're cute, these leaves. It's very sweet. That was a little bit too much glue there. That's all right. All right, so that's done. Now for our flower. It's the same thing. I really like that layered effect. Now, moment of truth. Let's see whether this Night of Navy goes. I don't know. Maybe not, because I have to see it with the whole card, because I've got some the rest of it there. It possibly will. But we'll see. So next step is, so this is our layout. Let's get back to the layout I'm following, which is that from the catalog on page 38, 39. It's on that center section. So I have die cut using the stitch rectangles, and believe it or not, I never thought it'll last this long. It is still there. It's retiring, but it's still there. Using the lovely in linen designer series paper. So that's the other side. And I'm going to use this side. So that's where the Night of Navy came in. And we are going to use this die in the set. So it's in the same set. And it just cuts a cute little, it's a little cutout in there. It's just a detailed one. We'll bring back up a die cutting machine. I'm placing it here, planning to put my flower up there. And I will run this through twice because it's a little bit detailed. So it just cuts that the flowers out of the cardstock. All our last chance products, there's a lot that have sold out. Like, it's hard to tell. The way I can tell is how many pages there were initially, and now there's so many pages less. That's how I know, okay, there's a lot sold out. Some I know, but like, it's so hard. There was heaps of product, but well, there while supplies last. So if it runs out, it's not going to be replenished. Just bring my glue eraser here. Okay, good. That's just a bit of glue, I think. Now, I'm kind of thinking like this. And now I think that Night of Navy would work. And it brings that out. Yeah. I'm quite liking that parakeet party against the more neutral, the Night of Navy. This is just something you can get online. It's not a Stampin' Up product. It's just a glue eraser. Okay, so let's just stick these together. Now you can just use that. I thought it looked nicer with the double layer. I'll put a bit of glue in there. Just gave it a bit more volume. for the leaves, let's just bring in your bond folder. And I do this, I didn't do it with the petals so much here. If they're more individual petals, you can just use the bond folder for that. But I'm going to just take my bond folder and give it a bit of a curve. For the sentiment, I'm using the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which I showed earlier. And I'm going to stamp directly onto this. I don't do that often. Stamp directly onto. Do I go blue or pink? I might go pink because I think the pink is not visible much. There. The birthday. Now I've got my Night of Navy Stampin' Red marker. I'm just going to add a few, just flick that around like that against the cap. Just do it very lightly. And I'm going to add a few larger dots here and there, just with the brush tip. Just sort of in threes. So you get like lots of threes there. Now we will add Stampin' Dimensionals. These just pop them up, whatever you put it on, and just take the backing piece off. Just bring my mini dimensionals in. Just putting the dimensional up towards the top so it kind of stays in place. And then I'll add that one towards the bottom. On the left, still at the top, but on the left. So we've got that ready to go. Now for my card base, I had picked grey granite. Only because that's the card base I had used on the previous card. But we'll see whether that works. Sometimes yeah, I think that's fine. Can't go wrong with those colors, the neutrals, can you? The polished pink actually looks nice against that color. I'll put some dimensionals on the back of this one. Just put one there. Oh. I nearly did upside down. So I'm keeping that level with the side there. And for Those dimensional backings, they don't go away in a hurry. So I've got two types of light of navy. These are both retiring lots. Do I go with that? What do you think? Let's try them both. I think this is light of navy. Maybe it's another color. I have no idea. It's blue. Oh, have we lost our... There we go. That's better. Did I click something? Okay. Quite like this one. I don't know. I always these are one of my favorites from that catalog. Just loved it. They both work. They're nice in different ways. That other one is nice because it has a variation in color, I guess. Maybe I'll use these smaller ones. And another small one there next to the happy birthday. And what we can do, and I still haven't got envelopes, so I'm just going to decorate it. Otherwise, you know what happens? Decorate a non-Stampin' Up one, because if I leave it, I'm going to end up with a pile of cards that have no envelopes, and I'll have to sit and fix them up at a later stage, and then it becomes a nightmare. So I'm just going to do this. I haven't checked whether they're back in stock, but I'm hoping there will be when I next go to place an order. It's weird when I'm used to working with one set of envelopes and they just feel funny. Okay, now that makes it easier to work with. Cut it down. So this is the lovely In Linen Designer Series paper. So that's retiring. It had some more bolder images, I should say, and it was nice. It went with, there was a whole suite in the annual catalog. But the punch is staying on. So I will, and then I'll just add a piece of that onto the inside of my card. So I'll leave that for now, and I'm going to show you the other card I did. And this was a color palette of Sweet Sorbet, Calypso Coral, Soft Succulent, and Blackberry Bliss. So this is my color palette, which I shared last week. And you can, anyone can create, just add your card to the Facebook group. I think last week I might have even forgotten to put it. So when I post this card, you can always create it. It doesn't have to be in the same week. Just whenever you feel like it, just add your card in, which is nice. So that's the one which was with that color palette I shared. I shared another new color palette yesterday. So get involved, create with it. And this is the one I did now with Night of Navy. I did add a few extra colors. So we did polished pink, and we added a bit of flirty flamingo in there as well. Parakeet Party, shaded spruce, and Night of Navy. When I mentioned that, so that's the Poppy Moments dies and the Peaceful Moments stamp set. Check it out. They're on the last chance list, and that ends on the 1st of May. So if you like to get it, you can do so while supplies last. And if you would want to place that order, you get in touch with me. And thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you have a lovely week, the rest of the week. And I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.